Representative Thielen,
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I rise to speak against the resolution.
please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, there is only one purpose for extending this session, and that's so the Democrat majority will be in a position to override Governor Linda Lingle's vetoes of tax measures. I oppose this extension, Mr. Speaker, and I believe that we should allow Governor Lingle to have her chance to veto measures, and we should live with that result. The taxes on our people are going to be very onerous. She's aware of that, and I don't like us to set up this body to set forth an override of her vetoes.
Thank you. Any more discussion? HCR 313, Representative Ward.
Thank you, Speaker. I also rise in opposition to this measure.
Please proceed.
Speaker, time management experts tell us that a task either expands or contracts according to the amount of time that you give it. The people of Hawaii have given us 60 days to do our business. We have a budget. In fact, we just came out of the conference committee that said, I think in the words of the President of the Senate, we have a budget surplus. So the biggest job that we were sent here to do, we have done. Now, is it because we don't have enough time to combat the governor who said unequivocally, we can balance the budget without cutting jobs. We can balance the budget without raising taxes. If we are extending to refute that, I think it's a futility. For those reasons, I oppose this motion.
Members, any further discussion? Representative Blake Oshiro.
Mr. Speaker, I rise in support.
Please proceed.
Very briefly, I just want to rebut some of those comments. First and foremost, just to rebut this argument about time expanding or contracting, let's be honest, all we're doing is really adding one calendar day. I think in these budgetary times where we are crunched with some significant pressures, adding one legislative day is not really too much to ask, especially when we're looking at what the actual cost to this body will be. And that will not be very excessive because the Speaker has already said, unfortunately, our staff will be ending on the originally stated date of May 7th. And so if there are any costs for that one additional legislative day, it will be very minimal. Secondly, the argument about a surplus that will be carried over, I think that's a mischaracterization. If anything, Senator Kim said it was a slim, very slim surplus that we may have. And all of that is extremely contingent on every single one of these tax revenue proposals passing. If they don't pass, at that point, our budget falls apart. It's all out of kilter. It's all out of whack. And so at that point, we need every single one of these measures to pass. Thirdly, this is about the balance and separation of powers. This is about checks and balances. And they may not like the fact that there's a 2/3 majority in this chamber that can override the governor's veto, but that's the way it works. That's the way government works. There are checks and balances. We don't have to just abide by what one person decides is best for this state. Instead, it's a collective decision made by the 51 members and the 25 members in the other chamber. Thank you.
Representative Pine.
I just wanted a point of clarification, please.
State your point of clarification.
Yes, I was in that committee hearing where Senator Kim did speak, and we do have a recording of it. And what she said was, with the tax increases, the many program cuts and layoffs, we will have enough money to make up for our budget shortfall, plus a surplus.
Thank you. Any further discussion, Representative Finnegan?
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted you to note my opposition to the extension.
Please proceed.
As well as just short comments. You know, we've all been very careful with the timing of this session, and I guess I'm also just curious as to why, knowing that we had less than, well, 9 days for the governor to veto and we needed an extension, why couldn't we have at least tried to do that business 10 days before the session is over? And so that would be my question to, I guess, the body, to leadership, is that we could have done it with careful planning of, you know, it was just one overnight day with that particular bill. Mr. Speaker, I do speak in opposition because I voted against all those tax measures. I believe that just like everyone out there in the public that has to deal with living within their means, I think we should do as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Representative Marumoto,
Yes, Mr. Speaker. In opposition, I
please proceed.
think it's bad enough to vote once to raise taxes, but to vote to override a veto of a tax increase is to vote twice for the same tax increase. I think it's doubly wrong.
Point of order, Mr.
Thank you.
Speaker. We're not talking about the bills yet. This is just about the reso. Can we just focus on the reso? Thank you.
Any further discussion? Representative Cheng.
In opposition, please.
In opposition, Representative Cheng. Any further discussion?
Mr. Speaker,
Representative Rhodes.
in support, I just want to say if the governor doesn't veto the bills, then we can go sine die on Thursday. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Representative Thielen, second time.
Bingo, Mr. Speaker, bingo. That's exactly the point. There's no question why this extension is being requested and pushed through by the Democrat majority. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried.